And welcome back. Our next interview on the legacy of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi is with historian Dr. Phumeleli Ngidi, who is from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Dr. Ngidi, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Starting off this conversation, of course, looking at the work that you do as a social scientist, but also the violence that took place in KwaZulu-Natal and how it informed the KwaZulu-Natal that we now know in the post-democratic dispensation, and the role that Mangosuthu Buthelezi would have played alongside the likes of Jacob Zuma from the ANC, as well as Harry Gwala.
Good morning to the viewers at home and the listeners at home watching at home. What I can say is that as a historian rather, the traditional prime minister of the Zulu kingdom is a gigantic figure, or I would rather say was a gigantic figure in the affairs of KwaZulu-Natal. And we remember very well what transpired during or after the negotiations in the early 90s and the war that transpired in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the political wars. But I'm not that much interested, or rather an expert in those fields of politics and violence and stuff. But we can say that he played an important role as a person who was involved in politics with the IFP, wanting the province of what was then KwaZulu to be aligned with its independence. And we can also take that back to the Homeland. Mm-hmm. Whereby in the early 70s, the KwaZulu was declared as a homeland. There are situations whereby other homelands, they accepted to be declared as independent homelands. But Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, as the chief minister of KwaZulu, he checked and looked at the position of KwaZulu by that time, and decided that KwaZulu had to be semi-independent because it could not sustain itself due to resources. One of those issues that arose at that time was that the Bay of Richards Bay, which is where there's also a port, which would have sustained KwaZulu economically. It was that although the parts of the eastern parts of of KwaZulu was aligned to this KwaZulu homeland or Bantustan, but this part was not aligned, was not apportioned for KwaZulu. That's why KwaZulu homeland became independent, became semi-independent. I mean, so the role of Mangosuthu Buthelezi from the traditional leadership to politics, it's got mixed emotions from different people in the society in KwaZulu-Natal. I've seen in social media, I've seen elsewhere in the articles, there are different interactions and responses on his role. Like any other person in isiZulu, we say akukho soka elingena siqe. No one is perfect. So we in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, his role as a traditional minister is well known.
Yeah, and also the insistence that he had around the respect for the kingdom as well as the royal family. And we know, of course, with the opening of the legislature in KwaZulu-Natal, it's the only province where we see this, where you have the king coming and open up the legislature after the elections.
Yes. So it's his ideology that KwaZulu and the monarchy should be given power as an independent monarchy. To that extent, up until now, we saw it last year or this year, I don't remember very well, when the king, for the first time, the current king, King Mangosuthu, opened the legislature. And the other exception is that Prince Buthelezi, out of all the prime ministers, the traditional prime ministers that has served the KwaZulu, the Zulu nation, as an empire from King Shaka, he's the only one who has blood relations to the family. In a usual instance, the traditional prime minister is not that much involved in succession battles. They are involved somewhere there and there, but they don't usually have the final decisions of a very impactful decision. But there was this exception with Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. That's why he has served approximately 69 years from 1954 as he was installed in the ceremony of King Shaka, where they were commemorating the life of King Shaka in September 1954. Up until now, you can see the coincidence. He was installed in September, and he departed in September. This was exactly 69 years serving as a traditional prime minister of the Zulu Kingdom.
And as we conclude the conversation, what is it about him being a Zulu man, first of all, of course part of the royal family, and then the prime minister of the Zulu nation, that he felt that he should also play a pivotal role around the significance of the Zulu nation and also ensuring that you preserve the legacy and the history of what has become a great nation?
Yes, it was his role. It was his faith that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi would be one person whom the Zulu nation rely on. And also, you remember, if you remember very well, in the issue of Ingonyama Trust.
Yeah.
Ingonyama Trust spearheaded the promulgation of the Ingonyama Trust up until now. It was to serve the interest of the Zulu people and the people living in the land of the Zulu. So it also gave the power to the king as the sole trustee of the land, so that because land is the economy, land is everything to the Zulu people. So I'm of the insinuation that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, it was his faith that he was born to serve, preserve, and secure the affairs of the Zulu kingdom. That's why it is still a monarchy, a powerful monarchy up until these days. Although they were before he was admitted to hospital, there was this. He was at loggerheads with Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi over Ingonyama Trust. Still, that was also part of his fear. That's what he has designed. There was a possibility that people could be dispossessed of their land, but that was the assumptions and assuming that something like that would be happen, because we've not seen it happen.
Yeah. Dr. Ngidi, thank you so much for your time. And of course, you'd remember that with this issue around the Ingonyama Trust, there were two reports. One that was compiled by the former president of the country, Kgalema Motlanthe, on some of the laws of the country as they were looking at the legal review of some of the laws of the country that should be repealed. And one of them was the Ingonyama Trust. A fierce battle ensued after that. And then also another report then commissioned by President Cyril Ramaphosa looking at land reform in the country. That committee as well also recommended that the Ingonyama Trust Act must be repealed.